Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. It is Thursday. It is the Three Amigos. It is time to laugh, have fun, and hopefully motivate you to take some action. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing awesome. I feel a little bit of pressure for this laughing thing, but go ahead.
There you go. And Dion, how are you?
Howdy, I'm doing great. Ready for round one.
So round one starts with the one and only lumberjack landlord sending Dion and I an article that basically highlights the Fed is in a bad spot. Not new to any of us. I've been talking about it for a long time. In fact, the unemployment numbers came out today, still record low. Wages are increasing. All kinds of bad stuff happens with wage inflation. We also have 11.6 million openings and, I don't know, just, two openings for every, lots of bad stuff. So the Fed, Jerome Powell, basically came up with the idea that it would be really, really, really helpful if the nation started a hiring freeze. Now, I'm guessing he's saying this somewhat tongue in cheek, I hope, but I saw the article and it's really, hey, a national housing freeze would actually be really good for us right now. So Matt, you found the article. Tell us what you think.
So I did check. I didn't find the article. That was Dion.
Oh, it was Dion. It was the other way around. I'm sorry. My bad.
Hey, for those of you who know, I actually just checked my phone to make sure I wasn't in the article because I wasn't sure.
Did I do that?
After Mike said it, I was like, did I really?
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, what we all can, kind of get warm and cuddly about is that we know that the government never overreaches. They always have an excellent plan, and they've always thought the strategy through start to finish and understand really what the impact is going to be and the people that it's going to impact. So I have no concerns.
Yeah. So, come on. So again, this is on Yahoo Finance. So, middle of the road.
Source.
Yahoo Finance. The article, in case you want to research it, is why the Fed wants corporate America to have a hiring freeze. And Dion, I'm sorry, I came from you. I apologize. What did you take away from this?
Well, the government doesn't have the ability or the power to tell you to stay in your house. They don't have the power to tell you to wear a mask. They don't have the power to tell you to take a shot, right? The last 2 years, we've learned that can't happen. So when the government says, we're going to implement a hiring freeze, most business owners would go like, stop me. But look at the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. How many people wore masks? How many people got shots? How many people against their will did a bunch of things we didn't think the government would have power to do? Mm-hmm. I'm curious how implementation would happen.
Sure.
Yeah. The
devil's in the details. They just don't like the devil very much in that way.
So again, the only way they could do something like this is they would have to incent business owners not to hire. That's how you do this, right?
Would you mean put more money in the market like that, or?
Well, yeah, it would be bailing out the rich because the rich own companies, and it would. I can't believe this is actually. I mean, I've read this article a couple of times, thinking it was sourced from some, fake news, or it's not.
Russia.
Yeah, somewhere. I don't know. Go ahead. Yeah.
So, about 2 months ago, we did a video on my channel, the Three Amigos on my channel, mm-hmm. on my crazy idea to stop inflation. Mm-hmm. And the comments were, "You're crazy. It'll never happen." And my idea was low interest rates didn't cause inflation. Mm-hmm. Cheap money didn't cause inflation. It was a factor, but people being paid to sit at home, unemployment, extra unemployment, extended unemployment, stimulus, and having to be bribed back into the workforce caused a spiral in wage inflation, which has caused prices to go up. Then we add in supply chain issues. So inflation isn't caused by what we normally expect, cheap money. So the first bullet in the chamber is to raise rates.
Yep.
My crazy suggestion 2 months ago was a wage cap. So this is a different version of a wage cap.
Yeah, sure.
Stop hiring. You'll stop causing inflation. You're right. I can't believe this is being suggested, but I see it in the realm of possibility. And I think they can go, do you have a DoD contract? Are you Lowe's, Home Depot, any contractor that works on or near military installation? We can penalize you, actually take away your contracts if you don't follow this mandate.
And there's a ton of contractors, obviously, that are subs to the government. tons of them.
Yeah.
Whether federal or local.
Jerome Powell wants to see job openings come down because right now, again, I've told people this is coming. Wage inflation, right? We've already seen the bottom tier get theirs. What we are seeing now is the office worker, white collars get theirs. Amazon did it. Microsoft is doing it. All these companies are raising wages. And if you're not getting a raise, quit and go somewhere else. You'll get a raise. Wage inflation is just started. CPI, I'm predicting, like unlike anybody else, goes up next month, which will just break people's brains.
So I can actually validate everything you just said, and I hope that nobody that works at my company watches. We had a meeting this morning of I'm not going to say it because somebody might watch this, a significant increase to wages to the average worker. This is not entry level. Our entry level already had to increase.
Yeah, they got theirs.
They got theirs. So this is middle of the road. The average everyday worker is looking at a significant increase just to retain.
Let
alone attract new. Right.
Yeah, and again, this is the boogeyman. This wage increase by that next level. It's the 1970s all over again. Inflation was a problem all decade. I mean, go back and look at the spreadsheet. I've had this spreadsheet out for a year. The fact that you're not looking at it going, oh my God, you're not paying attention. And again, we're going to have inflation all year. It's going to be a problem. The interest rates will be higher in 2029 than they are now. These people, Dion, you're one of them. You think rates are going to go down at the end of the year. How? I mean, I don't see it.
So I was watching Iced Coffee Hour the other day with Graham Stephan, and they had Ryan Pineda on.
Oh yeah, I know Ryan.
I didn't timestamp it, but I'm going to because it's going to be in one of my videos. But Ryan Pineda said exactly the same thing, which, we're just investors, so what do we know? Like we have the crystal ball, but as we experience inflation, we change crystal balls.
Yes. Ooh, I like that.
Go for the alien vodka. He said he anticipates it by the end of the year that we get to the end of Q3 and everybody goes, inflation is out of control, raising interest rates, this 50, this 75 or whatever we're expecting next, didn't fix it. So we might, and now we have this the actual recession that we look to be in by then. And I don't know. I still think I got the timing wrong. I think I have too short a time period.
It's too short. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think a recession is next year. You've heard me say it, Q2, Q3, Q4. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now we have to be careful, right? Guys like Ryan and other folks, they have a lot of skin in the game and they're highly leveraged.
Yes.
And also a lot like Taylor, my Monday expert, he's in Wall Street. Again, some of these people are making kind of wishful thoughts,
right?
Not logical thoughts. One of the things I've trained myself to do is remove my position from what I am seeing. And to think that you're going to get the Fed cutting rates this year for any reason, we could have the only way the Fed cuts rates this year is if wage inflation goes backwards, which I don't think. Unemployment goes from 3.6 to 10% by October. And we have negative GDP of 3 or 4%. It would have to be that bad and that sudden. Otherwise, we are not going to because what happened with Paul Volcker, which people don't realize unless you're in the data, is Paul Volcker raised rates. The numbers came in and he stopped. He said, the numbers are coming in. I'll wait. I don't want to break it more. What happened is they came in, they settled, and they raced even higher. The U.S. had a double dip recession, which are painful because the second dip is nasty. Right. That's why you are hearing Jerome Powell in his public statements this week and last week going, we will not wait for the decline to happen. We will wait until we get there. That's what he's telling you, is we are going to freaking break something. So that I think Powell is basically saying we're not going to do the double dip recession because that was painful. I lived through it. It was horrible, just horrible. So it's going to be interesting. I do think a national housing freeze being proposed by the Fed is scary. I think your guys' points about masks and shutting down and all things is you don't think it's possible, but they got pretty close, right? Yeah, I can't believe the Fed said national housing freeze.
Hiring
freeze.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, again, I look at the entire situation, and the thing that everything feels different about this one, like even 08, 9, like 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Everything then, as bad as it was, it's still unfolded.
Yeah.
And this one is not unfolding. It's like a pop top. It's like today this, tomorrow that, the next day this. So everything is happening in a very accelerated fashion.
Yeah, this
And
is the hangover. We had 2 years where the Fed rained money on everyone. To Dion's point, you were $70,000 to stay home. That's not normal, just in case you're wondering. Not normal.
No.
Now we're paying for that, and it's not going to feel good.
So the COVID program for our state for housing. So I spoke with them this morning, and I had people leased through March, as late as March of 23.
Okay.
I was told today that they expect the money to be gone by November or December.
Yeah, more and more people are asking for help. You and I talked about this. I've seen more people ask for help in the last 60 days than I did at the peak of this crisis.
Correct. So what I think is going to happen is, and I've already had that conversation, I said, we need to come up with a transition plan for these folks. We know that they can't afford the rent at what it is. They can't. They don't financially qualify. They never did. It was only based on the fact that they were having the rent paid for them and that they had a job, but that wouldn't bridge the gap. Even if I drastically lower the rent, they're still not going to be able to really afford it. Yeah. So I said, we have to have some sort of a transition plan in place. And that's what concerns me about the article that I did send, which was talking about the giveaway administration just giving away more down payments and having housing payments and things like that. Yeah. Because as it sits, our state, like I said, is going to be largely out of those funds. They don't know exactly when, because they're still taking people on.
Yeah, they got to stop that.
So it's accelerating.
Yeah,
it's accelerating
momentum.
Yeah. So we're gonna see exactly what that looks like. So yeah, it's, to me, I thought, yeah, year lease, it's a program. Like, their program's going to have to pay. They're the ones backing the lease. And now having that conversation today, I was kind of like, wow, so they're probably taking at least 90 days off. And we all know how easy it is to rent out a unit in December.
Yeah. It's not bad for me.
Yeah. Yeah. When there's a foot of snow on the ground and it's Christmas, it's bad for me.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the thing that literally, like, I'm talking to them and saying, hey, the good news is it's May. We just need to figure out a transition plan that starts in like August or September, and make sure that we let everybody know. Because if it's just like, hey, so you went to recertify to get paid for December on, bad news, there's no money left. Like, what am I supposed to do? I said, then you're looking at a massive cost for me to then evict them, and I don't want to do that, but I can't afford zero.
Yeah. Zero's not an option.
Zero is not an option.
Unless you're in LA County, where they have the eviction moratorium.
There's a reason I don't invest in LA County.
Yeah, you and me both. So Dion, this is pretty amazing. Any other thoughts about a hiring freeze? I mean, a hiring freeze to beat inflation, it just hurts my head to think about.
No, I'm hoping that somebody in the comments below can think of a reason why hiring freeze would help stop inflation. Because that means we're going to have overtime, which increases cost to employer. We're going to have I don't see in any way how the logic leap was made that let's stop hiring to reduce inflation.
Yeah, crazy. Matt, you want to say one last word on this?
So Mike, you and I have that background in tech, right? And all of those companies, they do what when they hire? They hire way more than they need, and they keep the good ones and they get rid of the ones that don't fit the model, right? Not saying that they're bad. They just don't fit that model for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well, they're
Better.com, with their last 4 layoffs, they're still hiring. Why would you go work there?
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, they are getting people in the door. They're hiring 100 people. And then they're saying there's some people that had a tenure of 6 and 8 weeks. Like, how could you not know that I wouldn't have a job in 8 weeks when you're hiring me? So
yes.
So I think that's where that hiring freeze can be. I mean, that completely changes the enterprise software company model, right? Or the venture backed model, or the unicorn model.
Yeah.
Scary
Man,
stuff.
there's just wild stuff going on. I could honestly tell you in my 6,000 or 7,000 videos, I would never thought I would talk about the Fed talking about a hiring freeze. That didn't hit my radar. All right, guys, look forward to topic number 2. Existing home sales crater, crash, bubble, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be fun. Thanks, guys.
Ready.
Ciao.